recording now off the phone. And so this is whiskey with Mark. And I'm here with Jesse Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi.
Yeah. That was really close to Fittipaldi.
Jesse Fittipaldi.
Yeah.
Well, I probably missed a couple letters in there.
It's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So, always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
Yeah, you too,
I
man.
run into you in the weirdest places. I think this is the first time that we've, met and purposefully, I called you up, say, hey, let's have a date.
Yeah, agreed. Cheers.
Cheers. Because it's whiskey.
I don't drink the hard stuff very much anymore, and so this is kind of like doing the Hot Wings show. And I really did think it was a tasting, and so now that we're sitting in front of it, because folks can't see it, it's more than a tasting. It's five.
It's five shots.
5 shots.
Well, and they're funny looking shots. They are, I think, a little smaller than the regular shot. It's probably like an ounce.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they remind me of is communion glasses.
Yeah.
Did you ever get communion in these funky little glasses? And that's kind of like what it reminds me of.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
So yeah, it's 5 ounces of booze, and I'm drinking mostly whiskey, rye, double barrels. I call this one sometimes I get I think this is the elk.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so this is the double barrel elk rider is what I call this. I've got 2 dual barrels and 3 elk riders.
It's first sip was it's very accessible.
Yeah.
I think you were saying that at the bar, and I when we were ordering it, I think you're right.
Because whiskey, sometimes people don't like whiskey so much.
No.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, it can be rough. And Scotch was my thing for a long time.
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
I'm not like breaking some long.
I'll have to call a couple people after this meeting. No.
We can just call them right now, Lifeline.
Yeah.
It's like,
bring them in.
Hey,
help me out. I need some help.
It's a slippery slope here. I went in for an interview,
Yeah.
and now there's 5 shots in front of me. I'm not sure. Let's navigate this.
Yeah. No, it was a self-inflicted pain that I did, and it mostly has to do with just my life choices right now and what I'm doing, and trying to remain, keep the brain.
Yeah.
And body in the best condition that I can.
Well, nice segue, because you're doing amazing stuff.
Yes.
And I originally wanted to talk to you because of this power plant thing, which totally hit me from left field. All of a sudden it was headline news. It's the power plant's getting activated. Look, it's Jesse and Mark are doing a thing. It's I thought that they were busy with Arcimoto, but apparently.
Yeah.
You're moving too fast. You got bigger plans.
Yeah, I think part of it. The steam plant has been sitting there as
did I say power plant?
It's good. It doesn't have a name yet.
Right.
It could be power plant. It could be steam plant. It could be innovation plant. Whatever it becomes. The name is hopefully selected soon.
Right.
But to the Arcimoto point, and it's just that over the period of time of setting up that company, we've met some amazing people, and it's hard not to take advantage of those opportunities that are outside of the community and inside the community to build the world that we want to see.
Right.
And so the fact that the team that's been selected has been a part of the community for forever. I've lived here my entire life. Mark's lived here his whole life, and the rest of the team, Rob Brokaw and Mark Mixis and Pape and all this. We're community members, and we have a shared vision and how to best reflect what we think the community is.
And this thing right now, it's kind of it's sitting out by the river.
Yeah.
And there's nothing around it, but they're going to build the whole the whole waterfront, the new waterfront walk is going to be built up all around it, right?
Yeah, correct. So there's another team from Portland that's taking on that project, and it will be a lot of various types of living for people and various business, commercial real estate, and it will take that really large, what is right now a large gravel field, and turn it into usable space near the river, livable space near the river, and I think that the steam plant could be a facilitator in that, if we can kind of put a stake in the ground of before, let's just get it started. Let's see what it could be.
Sure. And I like what you said about build the world we want to see. Like, what's your vision? Maybe not just for the steam plant, but like in general, like either for the steam plant or bigger, whatever.
My hope right now is that our generation, which is everyone from 8 years old to 85.
So people alive
now.
Yeah,
people alive right now.
The now people.
Yeah, which is this generation. We have a vision for the world, and I think it's shared. And I think that that vision is we're here to correct the issues that we see in front of us, and provide solutions for that world that we want to see. That's why we're here, right?
Well, and I couldn't agree with you more. Like, I feel a huge sense of agency to be able to, manifest cool stuff, in the world. And I wish that everybody felt that, just permission to go build the world you want in the world around you.
Yes.
What do you think facilitates that? Is it like an attitude or art or cash?
All of those things. I think that with the steam plant, there's an opportunity to create a place where there's a ladder for that success, to that success. So when you have a dream or an idea that you want to see if it can happen and if it can work. Right now, there's institutions that are in the world that you could try to tie together to create that energy. But
Right.
Is it possible to use architecture in one spot, and inside that architecture create a pathway to success, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it would remove that, what do I have to do to get this to happen? And this is everything from just making a career change, right? Imagine that you want to make a career change, and what does that take to do? And there's definitely institutions in the world that are there to do that, but you have to tie all those things together, and where do you start? And I think that if people could see immediately a path to their end, what they desire, it would be a lot more motivating to go, maybe I can do this, right? Maybe I can get through this process. And
we see this at, I've been doing the Coach Up's co-working space downtown at the Broadway Commerce Center for a number of years, and there's this, very clear pathway. It's like people show up, they hang out for a while, get to know some people, then they rent a desk, and then they're doing a desk, and then and then things are going well for them. They're making connections. Whatever their business is blossoming, and then they're like, I need to bring on some more people, and then so they move out of the co-working space, and they move into a small suite on the second floor of the Broadway Commerce Center. But like, they don't go far. They like they still like knocking around with the same folks, and being part of that energy. And then like there's a way for them to go from one step in their adventure to the next one, kind of in a limited way at the Broadway Commerce Center. But I think the steam plant might have a much deeper story, like to serve underserved folks, to get initial training type stuff, all the way up into having a corner office, and you're the venture capitalist, or, or you're the anchor tenant or something like that. And like, so activating it on the ground floor or in a So, like, how far have you thought through this vision?
Mark and I started working on this, the vision of this project 2.5 years ago, I think. We were touring the site, and the tour happened shortly after the passing of his father, and so Dave Frohmeyer, who was the president of the University of Oregon for years, that many people know, and he was also the Attorney General of Oregon for many years. And his legacy was leadership. And for me, I didn't even really know what that meant. And it's an aspect. It's a key part of a person's success, whether you're leading yourself or others. And his vision for leadership was that it can be learned.
It can be learned.
It can be learned. Right. It's not a. You're not born and gifted with it. Some people are, but also it can be learned. And so.
And what's it? Anything?
Leadership.
Yeah.
And so, there was this idea that there should be a leadership institute in Eugene.
Oh yeah.
It was like serendipitous in ways where we're like contemplating that idea, starting to pitch it to folks, and then Steam Plant shows up. We're like, well, that could be a key tenant in the building, possibly.
Totally.
And Eugene is a perfect community for this idea of leadership. If you look at the history and the things that we hold on to as what is Eugene and what has it done for the world, it seems to be a leading community in that idea. And so let's broadcast that to the world, and let's embrace it, and let's do it, so to speak.
You know what I was in today at 2 p.m.? I was in my very first class for the Mozilla Open Leadership training thing. And so this is a very cool opportunity for me, and I'm really lucky to be involved with it. This is a worldwide training that goes on every couple times a year, and this is the 5th time that they've done it. And so I'm getting to learn what it is like. How do you run a project in the open? How do you do open source correctly? How do you do community engagement? And so this is the first time that I've actually been able to attend a class that's like about the stuff that I feel like I'm doing already, but I always feel like I'm just kind of phoning it in or kind of making it up as I go along, and hopefully people are on board with it. And I'm like trying to be an expert, in that space. Like, hey, if you're going to have a project, run it in the open. Get as many people as involved as possible.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? How do you keep it open? How do you do some of these things? And I've been doing like the best job I can, but now I'm super excited to actually get some like real training curriculum to be able to provide, leadership basically. And I was kind of off put by the title of that, leadership training. It sounds kind of, I don't know, hoity-toity, or, kind of like self-improvement-y, or, something like that. So do you get any of that? What's your feeling on the word like leadership?
I think it needs clarification, because I get that same feeling from you as well. Is that and what does that mean?
Right.
What is leadership? So why?
Does it mean? Because it doesn't mean you're in charge
No.
giving orders. That is definitely not
No.
what it means.
No.
I think leadership might mean like a willingness to take risks and to do things, giving yourself permission to go do something, maybe, rather than asking for it, and also bringing others along with you for the ride.
For sure.
And not in a subordinate role, but in a we need you to help this project succeed. But maybe they don't want to lead. Like somebody's got to. Somebody, some people are going to be pulling on the oars, and some people are going to be using the rudder, and some people are going to be looking at the map. So somebody, basically, every good team probably needs a leader. Or two.
I've been reflecting on jealousy a lot lately.
Nice.
And in the positive way.
Right.
So I told Mark this recently. I was like, I want to be around people I'm jealous of. Not that I'm competing with, I want to be around people that I'm jealous of, and I want to be like them, and I want to arrive next to them and be like, holy shit, man, you kicked ass. That was awesome, right? Like that. There's kind of nothing better than that. And I think that the person that's committing the jealousy stuff is the person who's showing leadership, right? Just stepping it up a little bit. So just getting away from I think it's getting away from competition.
Yeah. It's high time we abandon competition.
Yeah.
And like the myth of the strong leader. Have you heard about that? Mm-mm. Yeah, it might even be a book. It's like the myth of the strong leader. It's like that you need like some, one person, typically an old man, like at the top of the pyramid, telling everybody what to do, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that it's baked into our culture that it's like there's a Superman and there's a president and there's a whatever, and in all these things there's a CEO, there's a whatever. Who's the pitcher? Who's the captain? Who's the lead singer? There's always like this one, strong leader. But the idea is if that person goes away, then the deal's off. It's like the whole thing falls apart. But we know that in reality that's not the way it works. If you've got a good leader, the whole organization's working together, as a collective to execute on a vision or move in a direction. And they might be, or a small group might be setting the vision, setting the milestones, but you're never going to get there. Like Elon Musk isn't going to get to Mars by himself. He's surrounded himself with the best engineers, on the planet, and they're able to actually use him to attain their goals, because they would never be able to do the projects they're working on without Elon Musk figure who can like capture people's imagination and get wild amounts of investment and stuff like that. And so there's just it feels like there's different pieces of the puzzle,
Let's give a shout out to Elon Musk, a wonderful leader.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. The guy's been getting a lot of flack lately.
Well, I watched this last press conference, and he wants to name the first ship that goes to Mars the Heart of Gold.
Oh man!
Which is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's the ship that Zephyr Beeblebrox steals in like the opening scene of the book.
Dude.
And that's how they get around the galaxy. That's with the infinite improbability drive.
Yeah.
And so.
Dude, I love that guy.
Yeah, Elon's awesome.
I don't want to get on a tangent, but talking about trying to create solutions for the world on a level that's meaningful. I mean, that guy is just tied a lot of things together. The launch of that rocket, the big one that went up, I mean, dude, I cried when I saw that thing. Yeah, dude. Like that was like the idea that the team did that thing, that there was a team of people that launched the rocket for the first time, whenever that was, 6 months ago, basically assuming it was going to fail.
Right.
And it did it. And they launched a car into space, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. Listening to David Bowie, it was just like, dude. And knowing that that's what we need in this world. We need teams doing that kind of stuff.
Well, they didn't forget the fun.
No,
right?
they didn't.
They prioritized fun. They had an astronaut in the Bowie song, in the like a fire engine red Tesla, or maybe I'm making that part up. But no, they made it fun, and they made it engaging in a way that we haven't seen anybody do. Yeah,
and it was a gigantic challenge. I mean, and that's what we're faced with right now. None of this. This is the thing. This is what gets me. It's my mantra.
Oh, nice.
When it pops up in my brain once in a while. Yeah. This is the steam plant. This is. We are not sitting around a campfire in the desert trying to solve world hunger,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
All of this stuff is possible. That's probably the most difficult part of the human condition right now,
Right.
as a society, is like all the problems, the quote problems we face, which are massive problems, are solvable.
Right.
We have capital, we have great minds. Most of the people in this world, I believe, want the things that we all agree on what we want. We don't want people starving. We want people to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, right? This is all doable.
Yeah.
That's probably the most frustrating part about it. It's like
wildly frustrating.
It is. It's like we are not sitting around a campfire going, we have no resources. We're sitting in goat skins with some rocks.
Right.
I don't know.
No, that's a great analogy. There's a fun article called "What Money Can Buy," and it was maybe 10 years ago or something. But it was when Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation were sitting around, and they just got a big infusion of cash from Warren Buffett.
Yep.
And they were like, okay, we have X amount of money. Let's start going down the list of things that we think that we could change with this amount of money.
Yeah.
And they went through a list, and then they finally arrived at malaria.
Yeah.
We think that with this amount of money and applying this resource the right way, we can remove malaria from the planet, and that will have the most impact. For this. So it wasn't a whimsical thing.
Yes.
They looked at it, they got out their Excel spreadsheets, and they put it together, and they started making a list of problems in the world. And that was one of them. It's like such just an amazing time where there's people who can sit down and look at the entire planet and go, we have basically unlimited resources, what do we do? And who knows where they are in that project. They're super ambitious.
Yeah. That story was a game changer for me when I heard that story, because I heard that whenever it was, and realizing that they were like, what can we actually fix with money? What can we actually correct with a massive infusion of cash?
Yeah.
And it was amazing to hear that. It's like, oh, that's so logical, right? And then we can bring that back to our communities.
Totally.
Right? We can bring that same mindset back.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, there's a bunch of homeless people here, right? We can actually. That is a something that can be corrected. It has parentheses or brackets around it.
Right.
It's a number.
Right.
Yeah. It's fear. I guess maybe, I don't know.
And that one's super complicated too.
That one's tough.
See, and it's because it doesn't there isn't enough specificity of language around homelessness. And so when you say,
I just dove into the deep end here.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like how the Eskimos. There's a myth that say that Eskimos have 100 words for snow. Because they live in snow, and so there's all these different descriptors. So that's specificity of language. Right? I don't know if that's true or not, but the same is true, or that it carries forward. Like if you're looking at something like homelessness, or love, right? In the English language, we have love. Yeah. And
very, very, very big.
and when you look at other languages, there's amore, and there's all these different types of love, and the French famously have 100 different words for love that mean all these different things. Unfortunately, our language is brutish, and so we just basically, well, are you in love or not? Yeah. Well, it's like an A/B switch. Yeah.
It's a wiffle bat.
And this is the same issue with homelessness, right? It's like, who are you talking about? And there's a bunch of different demographics in there. They all kind of fall under this blanket term. And that's going to evoke certain emotions in certain people depending on how they, how they've interacted with that. And so that's a hard one to solve because you're trying to solve for language at the same time.
Yes.
Because if you solve one part of it, well, you didn't solve the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because we have this big blanket term. It's like it's it's difficult. So I think we can chip away at
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
solve pieces of it.
Yeah. Could we supply warmth in a shower and wake up every morning in the same spot
Shelter would be nice.
to anyone who wants it, right? Like, could we do that? I guess it's a question. Could we do that? Seems possible.
It seems possible.
Yeah.
And, it's like, is it sustainable? This is the tricky part. Like, a lot of these folks are camping every day.
Yeah.
You and I, we go camping. We'll probably be able to, we'll probably be able to last as long as we had planned for.
Yep.
And then after that, we get in our car and we go home.
Yep.
If you're trying to camp every day and also find the means for camping every day,
Yep.
that's a full-time job.
Yep.
And so, making something that, it would be nice to let people stop every once in a while and catch up a breath.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like get a shower, get your clothes clean, get whatever.
Spend a week trying to visualize what you want next in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that's the comfort of home. Comfort of home is, we can reboot and we can create imagine what we need to do next, which is not trying to find shelter. It's like, I need to wake up in the morning and go find a job, whatever it is.
There was this guy that was he got roasted online for he was shaving on the bus, or something like that. And it was he's a homeless guy, and he didn't have anywhere to do his stuff, and he was he was moving from one place to another, and he had a reason to shave, to be clean shaven by the time he got there. But so he was didn't have anywhere else to do it, so he was just doing it on the bus. It's still poor form, it's still bad. But the problem is you couldn't just find a sink.
Yeah.
There wasn't just a sink, to be found. It's so. But anyway, we're kind of off in the weeds.
I apologize. Yeah, that was me. This double bourbon was
the double barrel.
Yeah, is that what it is? Double barrel.
Yeah.
DB. Delicious.
It's doubly delicious. Double barrel bourbon.
Double delicious.
Double barrel. Yeah, it's great stuff. They're supposed to give me. I was gonna get a taste of the unicorn drool.
That would be pretty good.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I want to take a break of our little chat here. Maybe we'll just wrap it up.
So, steam plant. We're working on the programming right now.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
So nobody knows this. You're the first one to hear.
Okay.
I'm probably shutting down the code shop space, and we're going to move across the street to 1 East Broadway and create an innovation center.
Do it.
And it feels to me like that innovation center at 1 East Broadway has got a half-life on it, because when the steam plant comes online, you're probably going to want a lot of that energy over at the steam plant.
I think it could be connected. There's no reason that.
Like with plumbing.
Yeah.
I love all the steam metaphors. Right?
Yeah, I think
we build a pipeline
that building actually might be connected to the steam plant.
Totally right.
Yeah,
physically.
Yes,
connected.
it's probably.
I could just yell
yeah.
into it too.
Let's do that.
Yes, sir.
Let's run some rats down the steam lines with some string. I'm this is crazy.
Ring the bell.
Yeah,
Ring
this
the bell.
actually works. Hey, Mark, what's going on over there?
We can do a pneumatic tube, and even if it doesn't work, we can do it with IoT, right?
Yeah, that's
and just we can completely fake it.
Yeah.
But no, I think that would be great. We'll have a direct line pneumatic tube that goes from your place to my place.
When you saying that immediately triggered this vision of that is the exact center of Eugene, right?
That's where the pin drops. If you go to Google Maps and you just say Eugene, Oregon, it drops right at
that is a
square.
That is a great portal.
Right.
So, let's just.
And you know what I think? I think there's room for an innovation hub and a steam plant.
Yes.
And the Knight Center for Innovation.
Yeah.
And all this stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're just making the pie bigger.
Yes.
Agreed. And the bigger the table, the more the seats at it, kind of thing. And no, I think it's a very exciting time.
Yeah.
And so when's this thing coming online?
Well, our goal is to have it completed by 2021.
That's a big year in this town.
Yeah.
Like everything's gonna.
Yeah. I mean, and it has to. I mean, we have an opportunity to show the world. It's a really, the spectator viewership of this event is enormous, and we have an opportunity to show the world. This is
that's the world game. No, it's what is it? The World Track and Field Game.
Yep. Yeah. It's supposedly the largest viewed event in the world when it happens that year. That year, I think
so it's not as big as the Olympics.
Maybe not, yeah. But that year that it's happening, it's the biggest thing, and I think that's what I heard. But this is the thing. Don't fixate on showing the world Eugene. We are going to do that.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah. They're going to be
regardless. It's happening.
Yeah.
But we have the opportunity to show the world how Eugene is a leader.
There you go.
And what are those things we want to show the world? What is important to us? What is important to the world right now? What are the things we're solving as a world community? And let's highlight those things and demonstrate it.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it. This is
a no talk.
This is a no talk. This is an opportunity, and we have to move past that because all of us spend a lot of time talking, and that's good. And what it does is it flushes out the solution, but at some point, we have to make it physical.
Yeah.
And I think some of us are viewing this kind of like the world, the fair, the Space Needle.
Oh, the World
Fair.
Right?
Yeah. Let's demonstrate some stuff and then leave it here.
Oh, right, like a one-shot deal kind of thing.
Yes, demonstrate something big and leave it here. It became the infrastructure of the new vision of what Eugene could be.
Yeah.
And this is the interesting thing. This is why Eugene is amazing on many rounds. It's a large enough community that you can make an impact, but it's small enough that you can make an impact.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So we can demonstrate to the world something real that's tangible, and you can actually walk through solving those problems. Unlike a place like LA, we're like, let's solve the transportation problem of LA. It's so big, right? You can't imagine it. Eugene, can you imagine solving the transportation problem? Can you imagine solving a healthy supply of food to this community? Can you imagine maintaining? Yeah, you can.
I can totally. I can totally imagine running around to all the food depots with my Arcimoto with a food trailer behind it and zipping on over to the tiny houses and dropping off stuff, and I can totally envision that because it is small.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's like everything seems doable.
Yes, it's doable, but it's also large enough to where those things matter.
Right.
They're significant. Like, it's a big enough community where it's a real measurable impact, right? So, when someone is presenting a demonstration of, last mile, and they've purchased one vehicle, and they put it in downtown New York, and they're solving the last mile problem with a demonstration with one vehicle, you're like, that doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't give you any real data at all. Sorry, guys.
Right.
Like, you put a sticker on the side of it, yeah. But if you put 1,000 vehicles in Eugene, you might actually start solving that problem. And 1,000 vehicles is not a lot. Anyways.
No, this is great. And you're talking about impactfulness. Like one of the things that has been coming up a lot in the past month or so is collective impact. And so basically it's this notion of that kind of like, we're better together. And now some of the funding sources are starting to get on this collective impact thing, and they're driving that. And they're saying, we don't necessarily want to fund one program in one town with one agency. We would like to see the community come up with a plan that involves multiple agencies, multiple partners, and we would like to fund that cloud of effort. And so they're getting more in this notion of collective impact. And to me, that's awesome.
Yes.
Because now, bring more people to and so now little programs and little efforts and very specific things can still be factored into a bigger solve, right? Like we're trying to solve something like transportation in town. It means there's room for ride share, and there's room for hailing, and there's room for EV, and there's room for Archimotive, and there's room for LTD, and there's room for all this stuff, and it makes everybody pause for a second instead of like fighting over that piece of bacon. Like it went, like to use a bird metaphor or something like that. It's like everybody gets bacon bits. It's like everybody gets to come to the table.
And bacon bits are delicious.
They're magically delicious.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any bacon in them.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
Well, you know what there is bacon in though? There's bacon in unicorn drool.
Oh, is there?
And we're gonna stop having this
All right,
conversation.
let's do it.
I'm gonna order some unicorn drool.
All right, sounds good.
So
It's a good end.
Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers.
I appreciate
Cheers,
it.
Mike.